Doing photo shoots is so much fun. It's one of my favourite things to do, but there's a little bit more that goes into it than what people might initially think. There's a lot of planning and preparations. There's a lot of planning and prep that goes into it. So for today's video, I am going to show you an example of how I like to plan and organise my photo shoots in 3 simple steps. The first step is, of course, to come up with a concept for your photo shoot. So you may be thinking, Amelia, is it really that deep? Like, especially if it's for Instagram photos? And to that I have 2 things to say. First of all, yes, it's so important that you come up with a concept, especially if you want your photos to convey a certain feeling, emotion, aesthetic. If you want it to have a sort of storyline, then this step is crucial. And then let me just tell you, this is so much fun. Planning a photo shoot is a completely separate hobby from taking. First, you will need an initial source of inspiration. This could be a song, it could be a movie, a book, or any other type of media really. Maybe you've seen some photos online that have really inspired you and you would like to make something similar. Maybe you just want to pick a random object or a word and give yourself that challenge, because I feel like that could be fun. For this photo shoot I'm planning today, my main source of inspiration is spring. At the time I'm filming this, it's the 20th of March, so the days are getting longer. The sun is slowly getting stronger. It's generally a calmer, happier, more hopeful atmosphere outside. I like to use mind maps to visualize my thoughts and get them down on paper. So I've got myself some pens and some paper, and I'm going to show you how I make my mind maps. Starting out with your source of inspiration in the middle. Apologies for the horrible handwriting there. It's because I'm writing on an angle. But yeah, so you've got your inspiration in the middle. So I'm going to sort of fill it out as I go along. The black will be the framework and the blue is sort of my mind map. So inspiration, for me it's spring. So you need to think about what your source of inspiration makes you feel, think, what associations you make, and all that sort of thing. Some questions to ask yourself could be the following. So you could be asking what feelings your source of inspiration makes you feel. What associations do you make when you think of your inspiration? When I close my eyes and I think of spring, I imagine a field of just people running around, kids running around. I imagine dogs. I can hear the bees buzzing and just all that sort of thing. What can you smell? Just try and think of like all the different senses and just write anything down. At this point, you're just brainstorming things that might spark some inspiration later on, and you're going to think about how you can convey these words, these feelings through your images. Yeah, and you're not limited to these things. Your mind map can have literally anything, like descriptive words, for example. And again, I know that all of these are technically descriptive, but again, if there's anything else that and again, obviously all of these are descriptive, but if there's anything that you feel is missed out or doesn't fit into a specific category, I'm just giving you ideas of things that you could write down. So what could you put here? You could put like pretty. I know that's really vague, but you could just put pretty. You could think, is there any particular aesthetics? I want you to allow yourself to be creative. Don't restrict yourself. Don't think that what you're writing down is silly or that it's not going to be helpful down the line. The more you put down on your mind map, the better for you, the more helpful it's going to be. It's now time to take our mind maps and make a mood board. So you'll want to put a mood board together based on all of the conceptualizing you've been doing up until now, and literally include anything that might be of some use, whether it's colour combinations, whether it's locations, outfits, poses, literally anything you can think of, just chuck it on a mood board. It can be physical or it can be on Pinterest, which is what I'm going to do because Pinterest is my favourite website of all time. But also I don't exactly have a printer anyway, so I've made a Pinterest board called Photoshoot Planning, and I'm just adding any photos that I find semi-interesting or any photos that I find could be of some inspiration, whether they are posing, whether they are pose ideas, the colours, locations, outfits, literally anything that could be of use I am including in this board. Let me just open up the board and I will show you. So as you can see, I've got a lot of flowers in there, and that's because I'm thinking about my props as well. I'd like to buy some flowers, and I'd like it to be in quite a floral-y environment. So I've got loads of pictures of flowers, really bright colours, but also more pastel-y ones, more soft colours, some more concept photography styles, and then some more like casual Instagram photos. Okay, yeah, so include any photos that match your theme, potential pose ideas, any outfits, locations, colour combinations, any photos of objects, lighting you like, and anything related. Really, the more relevant detail you can get, the better, because this is what you're going to use later on in the photo shoot stage. Okay, so now we're done with conceptualizing the photo shoot, we are now going to move into the second stage, which is the planning stage. So for this part, you want to think about the outfits that you're going to use, the props. Are you going to do makeup? You can think of locations, models as well. So we're going to start out with outfit planning. So I'm going to ask my sister to bring some clothes that she wants. I'm going to give her that freedom, but I am going to ask that they are probably flowy, pastel-y, light coloured, maybe some jeans with like a flowy top. The second thing is to gather props. You might need a combination of things depending on what you're doing.
So I'm just in Aldi now looking for flowers. Just went to Aldi to buy some flowers, and yeah.
Okay, so once you've got all of your props and you've decided on a location, it's finally time to take the photos. We got some flowers, which you've already seen Gabriella pick up from Aldi, and we are at the location we're taking the photos at. We're at some community gardens. I thought it would be very fitting for the theme. With the theme of this photo shoot being spring, I thought that this would be the perfect location. When you're setting up your shot, your mood board is going to be very helpful. You can use it you're going to use the photos as references for poses, and also just for general inspiration and just setting up your shot really. We sort of got kicked out of the community gardens, not for taking photos, surprisingly. This woman started approaching us. I was like, oh, we're gonna get kicked out because we're taking photos. But no, they were closed, and we went in while they were closed, and there was just like one woman there who left the gate open, which is why we thought it was open. And yeah, she kicked us out because she was going home basically. Here are some photos that we got. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you'd like more photography based content in the future, and I will see you in my next video very, very soon. In the meantime, feel free to watch this video, which shows you how I edit my Instagram photos to look like they're scrapbook entries.